But you know, the thing is that all of this system is experiential. This is the difference. There's no belief system. The facets take you in and they start to open your heart, and everything that's not real, which is the stress, the judgments, the fears, the things that have transpired in our lives that cause us to suffer, they start to be liberated. And as we liberate that, we start to experience our own natural essence. It's not that you're learning anything. You're actually letting go of what's not real. The control, the belief systems, the judgments, all those things that keep us small or protected. And we start to open, and our nature is joy, is celebration. But we've got so used to suffering. We think that that's our nature. But it's not.
More curious, my question. How, if all these astrologic events happening from nature are helping us, really affects, do they help us to create more depth?
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. You know, we're connected to everything. And whatever's happening in the world is pushing us all to evolve. And this is a very important moment. Consciousness is rising, there's external chaos, and always that creates evolution. And yes, we've affected the planet. You know, we've done lots of things. As a race, we're very destructive. And it's starting to reflect on us because we're affecting everything. We're affecting nature, we're affecting the ozone layer, we're polluting the oceans. We've done a billion things on such a level of consumerism. And now we have to reevaluate. But it starts with us. You know, people that love themselves don't destroy, don't abuse. People that love themselves think of the collective. They don't just think of themselves. People that love themselves give to humanity because they're giving to themselves. So everything's being provoked so we can change. And also for us to value our planet. You know, I was in the United States now, and there were cities just destroyed. But shocking. I couldn't believe it. I see the television and the whole city was gone. Like someone had dropped an atomic bomb. But it wasn't just one. And it was like the whole city was gone. And all of this is a consequence of global warming and COVID, all of it. So we've been given a bit of a wake-up call now. We're starting to change. But on another level, more people are looking for internal growth. More people are doing yoga. More people are thinking out of the box. You know, for me, this system's the hardest. It's the most confronting. It's the most simple. It's much more simple. It's incredibly simple. But it's like a hurricane, no? It just really takes everything you don't need. Okay, and this is what's happening. We're having to change. We're having to go deep. We're having to look in the mirror. We're having to take responsibility and evolve. So it's all, I don't know about the stars. You know, I could invent something. But I know collectively it's time to change. Yeah?
I have difficult, I think, since my childhood. That my mother used to tell, you are very ugly when you are angry. You are ugly. You are horrible. It's angry. So I have that problem and I couldn't overcome. I cannot not say, stop it, was enough. It's hard for me, the situation. And hard, difficult situations happen and it's hard. So now I'm connecting it with my hypertension. I want to know if do you think it's possible that I have that problem of my hypertension because the difficulty to move my anger.
Okay, the thing's this. We're taught to stuff inappropriate emotions. Girls don't get angry. Boys don't cry. And we're trained to swallow everything. And what happens? Our bodies are full of stress. And of course it causes hypertension, causes cancer, causes a multitude of problems, panic attacks. It's so important that we teach children to liberate their emotions naturally. Okay, so now you're not a child and you've been stuffing all your life. You're here and the facets are going to pull everything out, no? And so it's so important that you feel everything. Because consciousness, peace, love is a vibration. So when our body's full of stress, it doesn't allow the vibration to move. Like if you look at me, I radiate a peace, no? But I still cry. I still get angry. But I move it very quickly and then I'm back to being as a child. Yeah, and it's so important to be natural with your emotions. And it's very difficult to express to people. And here you're going to learn how to liberate emotions so that you can speak your truth without violence, no? Okay, so you're going to use this month to move everything, and you'll find that nearly every symptom of hypertension, everything related to stress, starts to disappear. Yeah, so it's going to help you a lot. But be open to it, no? Good.
My question is, how can I have more stable my process? Because it's full of ups and downs all day almost. So, and I see everybody so calm and so happy. How can I have my process but more stable?
You know, I think you have to stop judging your process because you're going really fast. So it's like a Russian roller coaster, no? Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. But you get to a point where you're stable. You have to use the facets with your eyes open all the time too, and to be more anchored. Because obviously you're thinking about things and then that's provoking this. or provoking that. And we've got to keep coming back to this place of silence and just anchoring there and making that more important than the thoughts and the judgments and the preoccupations. You know, just keep coming back. We always want to resolve our lives in our head. And it's impossible because it creates more stress. We can't fix anything by worrying. In fact, all it does is the opposite. It preoccupies the body, it can't function properly, it exhausts the brain. Whereas we need to be here with the facet, with that balance between the two hemispheres, and to be in peace. You know, always come back here. But if you're moving, don't judge it. Don't judge. You know, we've all had a tough couple of years. There's lots of things happening, not just the COVID. I know in Chile there's lots of political things happening, lots of internal upsets. But we have to be in a space of consciousness. When we're here, the external starts to fall into place. Because in reality, there's nothing wrong. There's just transformation and evolution. Everything that's happening is pushing for more evolution and more empowerment, no? Yeah?
And my question is, how can I be more loving with myself? Because it's very easy to be loving when the rest of the people is being like that with me. So I think I'm pretty, I'm capable. But when I detect some rejection or lack of approval, is that something wrong with me, and I live trying to modify myself according to the response of people outside. And I'm very tired of that.
You know, you're obviously looking for external approval. And you have to give that to yourself. You have to be loving with you. You know, when people say things to you, you can look at that. But from a place of love. You know, is that true? Can I grow from this? Because 90% of the time, people are projecting their problems on you. Okay, so you have to find a centre where you can change, but lovingly. Oh, well, yeah, I could change that. No, I'm not going to be manipulated. I'm going to stop looking for approval, and I'm going to find that within myself. And stop taking everything personally. Because everyone has a different opinion. Everyone has a different projection. Everyone's living in their own little dream. And if you're going to be affected by everything that transpires, you're never going to be happy with you. Okay? Whether people are praising you or criticising you, it shouldn't make a difference. You have to be clear with you. And once you find that freedom, it won't be affecting you. You know, this is the hardest thing for humans because we're always looking for approval. We think all the love's external. And it's not. All the love is in you. Okay, so that's a big aspect of evolution. Loving thyself. Yeah?
I want to ask you, what is to trust? It's what I'm finding within, that depth, that calm, that permanent thirst. Is that trust?
Sure. Once you start to find yourself, it's like you've built your house on solid ground, no? And it doesn't matter what comes. You could have a trust that everything's unfolding perfectly. You know, people are always looking for external security, but it's an illusion. And I don't think anything's been more clearer than the COVID experience, no? How everything can change like that. But once we find this, once we find that internal anchor, we start to believe and trust. And that's such a liberation. And we can also see when we're abandoning that, and we can come back to it. Oh, I'm getting lost in this. Oh, I have to come home to myself. And this is what we're cultivating, perpetual consciousness. And that's what the system's for. To be consciousness in action. Yeah? Not out. Looking for approval, protecting our image, putting on a face. Just to be here in each moment. And joyfully. It's not something solemnal, no? And celebrating life. Enjoying life. Without the judgment. Huh?
I would like you to talk about sensitivity. Because I heard that you say, you cannot be so sensitive, but my question is, to be sensitive in certain areas, or you can be more or less? Because, for example, I feel like ashamed. For example, if I see a dog in the street hungry, or if a person talks to me too strong, it touches me strong. So I fight all my life with that, and I would love to overcome that, because everything affects me.
No, Linda. You know, the thing's this. You can never be too sensitive. It's the language of the heart, because we're all connected. But there's a place where you're feeling a bit like a victim. And this is what you have to heal. You know, you can feel sensitivity and connection with everything, but you shouldn't be suffering. And the only way to get beyond suffering is by personal empowerment. You know, I used to suffer everything. I was always marching for this, saving that, seeing injustice everywhere, trying to change the world. But then I found my own suffering, and I healed that. And that means I can give, but from a place of compassion. And this is the point you have to get to. The things that are projected onto you don't affect you, that you can just have compassion instead of feeling like a victim and feeling hurt. And also the capacity to see the perfection, even in what appears to be unjust, and to give in those moments. Okay, but to be too sensitive doesn't exist. The more sensitive you are, the more open you are, the more connected you are, the more creative you are, the more you have the capacity to enjoy, You just have to let go of the suffering. You know, this is why often in many spiritual groups there's many more women, because women are very emotional, they're very sensitive, they're very connected. And I'm not saying men can't be. Of course they can. But on some level, it's that sensitivity and that femininity, which men can have as well, that connects us with our divinity. So it's a good thing. Sensitivity is a good thing. And it's something we're taught to quash. Oh, she's being hysterical. Oh, she's in a drama. Okay, but the suffering, we can let that go. But the sensitivity, it's very important.
My question, in these 4 or 5, 6 days I have been here, I have been working with love to self. I forgot my makeup in Guadalajara, which is my mask to cover whatever I don't like on me, but also serves me to feel even more beautiful. So I'm going through that, and it happens that even if I'm told, you're beautiful, sometimes I see myself in the mirror, I say, I like my queen, I like myself. But some other times I look at myself and say, ugly dots, ugly this and that. And when I'm told that's an idea, it's an idea, and you will see it's an idea. For me, it's a reality. My mind says, yes, of course, you're ugly, you're horrible, blah, blah. So, how to pass to get with the idea is an idea to get rid of that, because it's very stubborn, my mind.
Okay. You know, the thing is, when you don't love yourself, there's always something wrong. It's incredible, no? There's always something wrong. And as you start to love yourself, but really love yourself, you start to appreciate. You know, I remember when I was young, I used to do so much to improve my body. And my body was amazing. But I always found something wrong. I never thought I was attractive. There was always something wrong. I never looked at myself and thought, oh, it was always the opposite. I never appreciated anything of how I looked. And if someone said to me, I didn't believe them. It was like something wrong with them. And as you start to love yourself, all of that changes, because you start to appreciate something much deeper. Something much deeper. And that's your courage. All of those aspects make the person you're looking at the most important person in the world. And you certainly don't look at them and think how ugly. You think the exact opposite. You love yourself. And that doesn't mean you can't improve or you can't do more, but you're doing it from a place of love, not from a place of criticism. And that's such a freedom. Okay, and you'll get to that point that you just love that person because she's brave, because she's positive, because she's divine, because she's experiencing consciousness, that she had the courage to get to this point. You will become your favourite person. And that's a beautiful place to be, because then you can give that to everyone. And you can see everyone else's perfection. But when you're criticising, There's always something wrong. Huh? Always.
How do you start loving yourself?
Well, the facets are for that. And the systems for that. So what happens? Firstly, the facets take you in. And the only way to transform is from the inside out. Because all of the power, all of the love is within us. And when we start to focus on that, all of the vibration, which is based in fear, starts to move towards the higher vibration. Because we're focusing on praise, love and gratitude. And we're doing it mechanically because the head fights with it, no? One of the hardest things for people to believe is that they're perfect because we have so many judgments. So, as we start to love ourselves, when we start to experience our own perfection, everything starts to change. Then we start taking off our masks. We start loving ourselves exactly as we are. We let go of our addictions. We let go of everything that vibrates in fear. And ultimately, we come back to our true essence. And that is the source of all love. You are the love. Everything else is not real. It's not real. You are that love. You are perfect. But you have to remember. And you will. But it's internal. You know, you can spend 100 years taking every leaf from your tree, no? But this is just going, boom, straight for the root. Because this is pulling out the root of fear. We're not analysing each leaf. It's all the same. We're just going to take the tree of fear down. Yeah?
Come visit our webpage for books, movies, and our wonderful retreat centers. Isha's simple yet powerful system is transforming lives around the world.